Hi, my name is Anna Kilponenen, and my project is water-resistant face masks for swimmers. So, the problem is when swimmers' face masks become wet, it makes it harder for them to breathe. COVID-19 is a virus that completely changed our world and turned it upside down 1 year ago. Scientists have tried to prevent it from spreading and using face masks, and it's been a huge part of that. People around the world have found ways to use masks everyday life, but there are still some areas where they are still causing problems. This is a problem for people who swim, especially on a competitive team, because once our mask becomes wet after we finish our race, it's hard for us to breathe. So the problems with face masks. So as soon as we leave the water, we are required to put a face mask on. Their faces and bodies are wet after being in the water, so the mask becomes wet as well, making them harder to breathe in. After a hard race, swimmers are usually out of breath, and a wet mask makes their lungs work even harder. Being a swimmer, I wanted to make something that could help swimmers like me facing these challenges with face masks. How do face masks protect us? So, when a person coughs or sneezes, small particles come out of their mouth and a nose and spread to others around them. A face mask is used as a shield from these small particles. Inside of the face mask is a material that looks like a soccer ball that filters out the particles before they reach another person. Since COVID-19 is known to spread through the air, it's been a huge part of keeping people healthy. So, what happens when a face mask becomes wet? When a disposable face mask becomes wet, the soccer goal net inside of it can be damaged or completely destroyed. If that happens, then the mask is no longer doing its job. Wet masks are also much harder to breathe in, making your lungs do much more work. After doing a sport, such as swimming, your body needs a chance to catch up with itself and not make it work harder. A water-resistant mask can help your already hardworking body overcome one obstacle. So my proposed materials for a water-resistant mask. I wanted to use different materials that are commonly used to keep us dry or dry us off after being wet. I chose the following. So the first one I chose is a microfiber towel because when using it after swimming, it seems to get less wet. The second one is a regular bath towel because after showering, it dries you off quickly. The third one is a tech suit because it is made to have water almost bounce off of it when you are swimming. All three materials are not too thick and work well with drying or repelling water in different situations. So the materials needed for testing. The materials I used to make the face masks were 3 types of material, sewing machine, needle, thread, and elastic. And the 3 types of material were from before, the microfiber towel, the towel, and the tech suit. So for my experiment, I also used a small spray water bottle and a lung performance peak flow meter. Here are some of the material photos. So in the top left, this one over here, is the one made out of the tech suit. This right here is the one made out of the towel, the one next to the tech suit, and the one next to the towel is the microfiber. And then in the next photo, it's all three of them together. And then at the bottom, this is the lung performance peak flow meter that I used. And then this is about the peak flow meter. So a peak flow meter is a handheld device that measures how well air moves out of the lungs. It checks how fast air leaves through the lungs when you blow forcefully after you fully inhale. Keeping track of a peak keeping track of the peak flow helps you know if your respiratory symptoms are worsening or not. So the mask testing process. When testing, I wanted to find which mask was easiest to breathe while it was dry and wet. I measured this by using a lung performance peak flow meter that is commonly used by people with asthma. I took a breath in the peak flow meter without a mask covering my face to see what my normal baseline was. So the mask testing process. Then I put one dry mask at a time and tried to breathe into the meter and record my air in liters per minute for each mask. After I recorded these numbers, I took a spray water bottle and wet each of the masks to see what it would be like to put them on after getting out of the water. I repeated the same process, but with a wet mask on. I repeated this process 3 times total to make sure there wasn't any experimental errors. So here are some photos of the testing process. That's when I was doing it with no mask. This is with the towel. This is with the tech suit. And then this is with the microfiber towel. So the results. My baseline for my air was recorded at 280 liters per minute. For the mask made out of the regular towel, I breathed 165 liters per minute when it was dry and 125 liters per minute wet. For the mask made out of the microfiber towel, I breathed 60 liters per minute both wet and dry. For the tech suit mask, I breathed 215 liters per minute when it was dry and 210 liters per minute wet. The tech suit mask showed the smallest difference between no mask, a dry mask, and a wet mask, while the microfiber towel showed all the greatest difference between having the mask on and not having a mask at all. Here are the graphs of the results. So here are the different colors, the masks, and then these are the different tests, the 3 tests. And here's just another graph to show it. Which mask did I choose? After testing all 3 masks, I found that the best material to use for a water-resistant mask was the tech suit for these reasons. It is lightweight and made to resist water. It stayed pretty dry even after being sprayed with the water bottle. I could breathe in it almost as well as I can breathe without a mask on. How could I test further? To test my results further in the future, I would try this mask on a bigger group of swimmers to make sure it worked for boys and girls, young children and teenagers, and all different size athletes. Why did I create this mask? Masks has been an important part of keeping people safe during the pandemic, and even though they cause challenges in some areas, they are needed. By creating masks for swimmers out of tech suits, it gives them the best possible breath quality while staying safe from the virus. So that is my project that I have done.